Hey guys, Teresa Barber with Sippie Couture. I've had some questions on offset, and I want to show you how I do the offset as well as use some fonts that are super thin. So this is my favorite font. It's called Canyonland Script, and the name that I need for this is Belinda, B-E-L-I-N-D-A. So what I'm gonna do, let's make this bigger so you guys can see it. So this font, gorgeous, gorgeous font, right? It is just so thin. I can't do, especially if you try to go smaller with this font, it's gonna be so thin that you won't really get your value out of it. You can't use it. It won't show as much as it should. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna offset. What I did just now is I moved this B up because like it hangs a lot lower, but this part goes weird over it and I don't want it to go over. So let's weld that together. And what I'll do is I have this right here. I'm gonna offset. We're gonna offset by 0.006 and see what that gives us. Oh, I forgot a 0.006. I'm ducking behind my phone because like I have it right to my screen so you guys can see. So I'm like, I don't know, almost like laying down to do this for you. All right, so we did our offset and you can see how it gave it just a little bit of thickness behind it. So I'm gonna take the one that I typed, delete that, and I'm left with just this offset. It gives a font a bit of thickness. Another thing you can do if you wanted this to be a little thicker, sometimes you'll have a font where right here, you see how this is thicker than this part? It has like really fun detail. Every once in a while you'll get a font like that and you really want to keep that detail on it. So what I have is, right here, duplicate. Sorry, I had to check something out. I'm gonna duplicate it. And what you can do is you can layer it right on top of each other and pull it just off to a little. That way you will still get that thickness on the side. You'll still get that really fun detail, but it also thickens up your font. And then when you do that, just weld it together. And that will give you, it'll keep the character of the thickness, but without it taken away from the actual font. All right, so let me see. I might actually offset this one more time. Okay, that's a great one I have to keep. That's the only thing. Make sure you know which one you're keeping. So it's in black right now, so when I offset, it's going to go in gray. So that means I'm going to delete the black, keep the gray. And what I will do is I'm going to offset this. That way, this right here is going to be on my tumbler in gold. So let's change it to gold. And then it's going to have a white background. A lot of the times I like to offset my vinyl. That way you'll give it a bit more pop over the glitters. So we're going to offset it, and this is how I do that. I go back to this offset button, and let's go by 0.04. That is the thickness that I like my offset to be. Whenever you do that, you can see how it gives it a nice good border. I still have the inside of my E's and my A's in there. Whenever you start to get too thick, this is what I'll keep. So let's change this to white. That way I know I'm keeping that. And let me just move out of the way so I can show you. If you start to get a part where when you go to offset, if you go to offset and it closes in these letters, if it closes in those gaps and you want those gaps, just back off your offset. So if we go right here, we can go 7. It's still closed in. We can go down to 5. And you can just play with this. You can make this as thick or thin as you want. So there, you still have your offset, but it's still, you can still see your glitter through here, your paint, or whatever that background will be. Everywhere that's white will be your glitter or paint. So that is a really super easy way to just do the offset, the outline, and everything. And then this just, I cut it and it goes straight onto my tumbler. Another thing with this font is that it's super pretty. Oh, I needed to keep that. It's a really, really pretty font, but let me center it, group it together so I don't lose it. All right, it's a really pretty font, but it's so wide right here that it takes up a ton of the cup. So like right here, the width of this is 5.7, the height is 3.1. So that's fairly thick. Like that's really, really thick. You wouldn't be able to read this on one side of the cup. So the other thing I like to do with this font is I unlock it right here and then I just thin it out. I stretch it and thin it out. Depending on what size tumbler I'm using will determine what size I have that set to be. So this, we're doing a 20-ounce skinny. This is how I measure stuff, so don't laugh at me. This is how I operate. So what I do is I like it. I don't want it to like really stretch out. I'll do this one at 6.4 is about right. I don't want to go 7 because I don't want it to be completely stretched out and like have no room. So actually I'm gonna do 6.2. like 6.2 or so, 2 or so. That way I kind of have a little room at the top and bottom. It isn't crammed in there, and it gives me some nice spacing. Oh, look, it's at 6.2 right now. Perfect. All right, and then 2.3. So 1, 2, a little of this, and that's going to be perfect. That's going to cover up that nice side really, really pretty, where you'll have a big pretty name on it, but it's such a almost delicate font that that it will really show great. Like it's going to look really, really good. So we're going to go ahead and get this cut. We're going to use this gorgeous white vinyl that I have. It's like a white ultra sticky glitter vinyl, and then this is going to be a gorgeous mirror gold. So let's get this cut, and then I'll show you how to layer it. All right, so I have this weeded. I have 2 names I have to do on each 2 different cups, but it's kind of perfect because I can show you how to do 2 different ways of layering this. I have this cute little mat that my bestie for the rescue, Miss Cat, gave me. And what I'm gonna do, okay, this is the first way. I don't love doing it this way because I find that when I layer it off of the tumbler and then I transfer it over, I get bubbles. So I don't love doing it this way, but for the sake of showing you guys and this being kind of a really close thin offset, we'll show you. All right, so I have my background. I anchored that down to this little mat. For this top one, I have my little transfer tape, and I'm going straight onto here, and I'm pulling this up. I have my gold. Lift it off this little sheet. And this is anchored down, okay? This is anchored down onto this Cricut mat. So this is not going to want to jump up at me. If you have just this paper laid down on your table, whenever you go to stick it, this paper will want to jump up and grab onto this before you're ready, before you have it in position. So make sure that you have this exactly where you want it. Have it down on your sheet. I lined it up so that I kind of have a straight edge that will help me when I put it onto the tumbler. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to lay it a little at a time. I kind of anchor around the middle part, like get the E in, and then I work my way out towards the end. All that looks like it's lining up, so I'm going to go ahead and set that down and kind of commit and make sure this part lays down, lines up as well. And then I'm going to smooth that out. Get any bubbles or wrinkles out. This is a tumbler it's going to go on, so I feel around. I have this sanded. I always sand it really good before I put a decal on it because I don't want any bumps behind my decal, and I want to make sure that it grips really, really well. So I go around, and even though I sand it, I still have bumps. There's still bumps in here. This isn't perfect. Like there's a bump right here, but I don't want it to go over that. So I'm going to pick a spot. Right here is really good, but it's small. So I might save that for Gloria. Let me see if this one's smoother. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this one's good. Okay, perfect. Yay. All right, so right here is perfectly smooth. That gives me a lot of room for Belinda. So I'm going to take this up. I'm going to take up the whole background with it. I don't usually anchor it on a, you know what, I eyeball it. I eyeball it, so I'm going to keep eyeballing it. If you want, what you can do is you can pull up this whole sheet and kind of anchor it to the tumbler. And then line it up. Ooh, I want to make sure that goes without me without me panicking. And then line up and then pull your decal from behind it. I'll show you that. I'll try to show you that in the next one. It's hard whenever it was like really stuck to this brand new mat. All right, so I have both of it right here, and now I'm going to put it on my tumbler. And I want to make sure that I really stay in frame for this. All right, I can't lay it down and show you. I have to do it this way. I have to stand it up. That way I make sure it's laying down right. So I have this on my tumbler. It's straight. I work myself from the middle. I lay that down, and I'm kind of tracing over the letters and making sure it lays down without crinkling up. So then I go work my way this way. Go to the B, work my way to the outside, make sure that's all laid down. Now that I know that's on there, I'm gonna take my little squeegee, and I get aggressive. Say it all the time, I'm super aggressive. I hope I was in camera frame for that. I always say I'm aggressive, and I am, so here we go. All right, so then we're going to gently pull this off. Pull close to your tumbler to make sure that you're not getting any bubbles under your decal. If you rip it up and away, you have the risk of pulling up your vinyl. So I always keep it really close to my tumbler and just kind of ease the vinyl off of it. There we go. Okay. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that is. I need to put this somewhere. Never know where to put stuff when I'm like, look how pretty that is. Isn't that perfect? The perfect little offset. It doesn't take away from the design. The gold pops out against the white, and the white pops out against the gold. That way none of the name is lost. It shows on both ends. And I don't know, I love the way it looks. It's just such an easy, pretty offset design. And then we're gonna do it, I'll show you how to build it on the tumbler. Exact same process. Find my soft spot right here. Exact same process, except I'm not putting it on my mat first. So I put this down. I'm going to use the same piece of transfer tape. I got this transfer tape off Amazon, and I'll have a link down in the description section for that. So I have this, pull that off. And then, like I said, I eyeball, so I'm going to get right back here where you can't see, line it up, and then put it down. So again, I'm smashing it through the middle and then going out to the end of all of these letters. Once I have that down and I know that's down, I'm going to go through and really squeegee it on there. I've seen people go a lot more gentle than this, but I don't know. I'm not like that, so we're going to do this. All right, so pull that off, and then we're going to get this really pretty named Gloria on here. Squeegee out that extra. And then we're going to lift it up. I can probably, since my ends are starting to curl up on me, I can trim off some of this and it'll have a little less fight since it's getting a bit used. Let's see if I want to lift up easily. This one I had to really cut through on this one. Like, my machine was cranked up. This gold vinyl is from, I think it's Craftables, and I got it on Amazon, and I love it, but man, you gotta put that setting thick, and it's a heavy foil. It definitely takes some work. All right, so same thing. We're gonna line up kind of my key points of this. I'm gonna line up this point in the L where it should all meet up. Make sure my O, get my R, the dip down of the I, and then everything else should fall into place perfectly. So we'll get that down. Work that up. This little set is for some lovely ladies going to Egypt, and it is just, it's perfect. Like, these colors just fit perfect. So I'm excited to get this one out. How cool. I have a cup taking a trip to Egypt. I think that's just awesome. All right, so we're going to get this down. I have a little spot right there. I'm not gonna push that in yet. I have a little spot right here where it didn't fall completely even, so I'm going to lift that up, kind of just encourage it to lay down a little more. Push that down, get my sticker back on, and just make sure everything smooths in there and really just attach to the tumbler. That way I won't have any issues when it comes time for epoxy. But that's it. That's how simple these offsets are. Like I said, it gives your whole design a bit of punch. Nothing gets lost against the glitter, and it really just gives a good bit of separation for that design. So I love doing offsets. So once I started it, pretty much every cup gets an offset. So I love it. I hope this helped. As always, let me know if you guys have any questions. If there's anything else you want to see, please check out Sippie Couture Community Facebook group, where we have live coupon codes, giveaways, all that good stuff. One-on-one help if you need it, so you can always reach out to me, FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, whatever you want to do. And then subscribe to this channel, guys, because it really helps. It does a lot for me to keep making these for you. So you guys have a great week, have a great weekend, whichever day you're on, and we will see y'all soon. Bye, guys.